All right, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about diets, and I wanted to share some dietary tips and things that I changed in my diet recently, which had dramatic effects on my overall health, right? And the reason I started to focus on diet again was recently I went through a patch where I was just struggling again a bit with some symptoms, and just overall my mental health and my physical health was just in a bit of a rough patch, kind of thing similar to when I was sick, but overall it's not quite the same. But because you're kind of aware that you need to make some adjustments and things will work themselves out. But anyways, diet was something that was playing a crucial role here. So that's what I want to share. And I'm feeling great again, by the way. People get very terrified when I say that I was struggling with symptoms again. But we're all human, and good lessons for me that if you live a certain way, you're going to feel a certain way. But anyways, diet. Key thing that I focused on was inflammation, right? And focusing on reducing inflammation and a more anti-inflammatory diet, right? Diet is one tool in amongst many other things. Like for me, meditation and affirmations and all these other things, brain retraining, mindset, those are really key. But diet is like a low-hanging fruit, I've kind of said before, because it can kind of give you a nice base and really support your overall, physical functioning and health. So let's get into the specifics of what has really worked for me. And like I said, it started with focusing on inflammation. So that means, cutting out sugar and processed foods. And, some of the stuff will sound obvious, but, just listen to everything that I have to share. And maybe there's a couple of things you can add into your own routine. And yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because I don't often talk about the specifics of something like a diet. But I mean, it's really been a helpful tool for me. So yeah, low sugar, low processed foods, kind of cutting that out. I was going through these kind of like energy crashes throughout the day because I was just eating whatever I wanted, which I've spoken about before. It's a nice way to break out of like super rigid elimination diets where you're eating out of fear, right? You're restricting your food out of fear. So then kind of when I healed 2 years ago, I went into this period where you just, going back into the world, doing everything you want. And it was the same with food. I've been traveling a lot. And then when I was traveling, I was just like, I want to eat everything. I want to experiment. I want to just eat from a place of pleasure and enjoyment rather than a place of focusing on my health. But you can take it too much. And this is what I realized as well, was I kind of went all the way out of the health spectrum because I was so fixated in the health spectrum for so long, where I was like, I don't give a shit about health. And I'm just going to eat out of fun. And then realizing that in itself is too much to the one side again. And now I'm much more, I like to live a really active lifestyle and do a lot of exercise. So eating the healthiest possible diet actually really supports that, which I found again. So cutting out sugar and processed foods and focusing on anti-inflammatory things. So one example of what I do for anti-inflammatory is I have a tea in the morning, which is like a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a teaspoon of ginger powder, a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper, and a little dash of coconut oil. And the black pepper and the coconut oil is to help increase the absorption of the turmeric, and there's a thing in turmeric called curcumin, which is really good for anti-inflammatory. And honestly, this really helps. Like it supports my mental health and my physical health, boosts my mood, and just feels really good for me. Like I used to do it ages ago. I hadn't done it for a long time, and it's worth it. Like it's a really cool, simple thing. Helps aid recovery and healing. So it gives me like an energy boost, like kind of better than caffeine sometimes. So that's one thing. Then gut health is huge for me, right? So this is another problem with eating like really sugary processed foods. This is not great for your gut. And I could really notice this, right? It's cool. I ran the experiment on myself where, you can read about these things, but like you got to test it for yourself. And I've gone through periods where I was eating a lot of sugary processed foods and I could feel it. My gut did not feel good and my overall mental health did not feel good. And that's when my brain fog was at the worst. It was like with this kind of sugary stuff. So what I love is fermented foods, and then specifically I use kefir or kefir, however you say it, the fermented milk. I make it at home and it's amazing for my gut health, and which supports my overall health, my mental health and my physical health. And I really think, gut health is such a, if you're not like, again, I know a lot of people watching these things, you're already, like if you're in the CFS long COVID world, you're already, maybe have a lot of, like this is where a lot of people start, right, on the diet train and all that. So, if you know all this stuff, it's fine. But it was just reflecting for myself. It was just incredible to see the impact of coming back to these things. I hadn't been consuming kefir and these other anti-inflammatory things for a while, and just switching that up was really powerful. So that, and then I like dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, I feel, is also another kind of great anti-inflammatory food. Blueberries, kale, what else? Olive oil, like good quality olive oil. And then the last thing that has been helpful is reducing and then eliminating meat. For me, this is, again, I know people have different approaches, and that's absolutely fine. You don't have to approach this the same way as me. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. But I was vegetarian for like a year and a half when I was healing, and it was over the period that I healed that I was vegetarian. I didn't think much of it at the time. I kind of switched more just for like ethical reasons. But since then, when I started traveling again, I went back to eating meat because I was traveling and I was staying with foreign families, and I was like, I'll just eat whatever they're serving. And I also wanted to kind of experience the kind of cuisines and the natural foods of different areas. But then I've kind of just been eating meat on and off. And again, since I recently started to focus more on health again, I experimented with cutting out meat, and I just felt so much better, honestly. One thing it affected a lot was my sleep, which I was, I kind of had a feeling, which is why I did it. Like every time I would have like a meaty dinner, I would, like, my gut would feel really like heavy and dense when I slept, and then I would have a rough night's sleep. It's weird. I've noticed, this might sound strange, but it's a correlation I've noticed where when I eat a lot of meat, I have really intense and kind of disturbing dreams and nightmares. And then I cut out meat and I sleep really well. So, I have some theories on why that might be, but it probably won't resonate with everyone. But I think consuming a conscious animal versus eating plants and stuff like that seems to affect my consciousness when I sleep. So that's interesting. But I've noticed it multiple times, and then I recently cut out meat again, and I woke up feeling so much better. So those are, I would say, my main points on diet. I like to make it as much about anti-inflammatory. Don't make it about a stress thing, but do it because it feels good. This is my thing. It's like I want to be fit and active and healthy. So it's kind of exciting to see how much can I use diet to support that. So I played some really intense sport yesterday for like an hour and 40 minutes. And it's pretty intense on the body. And then today it was like, cool, seeing what foods I can use to support my recovery, my body to recover as fast as possible, and focusing on anti-inflammatory foods and gut health seems to really assist that. So yeah, I mean, it seems like simple things, but it's very easy to forget about. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. And yeah, I think that's all. Alrighty, good luck.